welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and I'm a fourth year veterinary student. I'm from Massachusetts, but I've been living in Scotland for the past 4 years to pursue my degree. And this is my little spot on the internet where I like to share my knitting and spinning and kind of document my journey as a beginner, kind of advanced beginner fiber artist. I would first off like to say that I'm sorry I haven't been on recently. I am in the throes of exam season and it has just been absolutely insane. But as much as it's been crazy academically, I've also been furiously knitting. So I have a lot to share today, which is really exciting. This is the first time that I've had multiple projects on the go, which is so amazing. I was always a monogamous knitter and I used to feel really discouraged when a project would take me a long time because I just didn't feel like working on it, and sometimes I would feel like I wished I had other things to work on. And I just feel like this spring, for whatever reason, has been so great. I feel so inspired. There's so much going on Ravelry and Instagram, and the community has just been putting out so many amazing patterns, and I'm just so excited to chat about all of that with you guys. I'm going to try to follow a pretty traditional podcast style with finished objects, WIPS, and some acquisitions because I definitely have a little bit of everything. So let's jump right in. So this is my first finished object and I'm so excited to have it off my needles. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that this has just been, I've just been kind of griping about how excited I am to just have it done. This is my Chantal sweater. I thought about wearing it today for today's video, but the weather in Scotland has actually been insanely nice. It's actually about 14 or 15 degrees Celsius, which is like almost 50 degrees, well, it's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's just been so warm and the sun has been out and everything's in bloom, and an alpaca mohair sweater was a little bit too warm, surprisingly. So this is her. I'll insert some b-roll of me wearing it, even though my outfit probably won't be super coordinated, and I'll explain why maybe later, about why maybe have been MIA recently. So this is her. The construction is a drop shoulder construction. This is the Chantal sweater. If I didn't say already, this is the Chantal sweater by Marika Knits, and oh my goodness, it's such a stunning pattern, and she put in so much time into every step of that pattern. I felt like I wasn't really overwhelmed or lost at any time. It is a pretty basic drop shoulder, or sorry, this is a saddle shoulder construction, which I was kind of into at the beginning of the year and the end of 2024. So I just casted it right on as soon as I was done with my last project. But now it's all washed and blocked and it's just so like drapey and flowy and has such a beautiful shine to it. And the brown is just so lovely. I feel like I just so wish I had this in the fall, but now I'll have it for this year because it's just such a lovely color and it's just so shiny and flattering on. I'll insert some b-roll. But yeah, so this is my first finished object of 2025. I also just really love the detailing around the collar. And I don't feel like the mohair detracts from it, which is really, really nice. So I'm very, very pleased with that. It's just so soft and squishy and drapey and lovely, and I just feel so proud of myself. This is my second ever sweater. It's my second ever garment, really, that I've ever made. So it just gave me the really big push to just start casting things on and working on things, and I just feel like after watching so many of the creators on YouTube create so many beautiful things, I've picked up so many helpful tips that I feel a lot more confident going into new projects now, and I know that there's resources out there and I know how to find them, which has just been really excellent. So I digress. Anyway, on to some works in progress. So as soon as I finished my Chantal sweater, I came across this stunning pattern. This is the lace loop sweater by Other Loops, and I am obsessed with her. So this is her. so far. So it is a drop shoulder construction. It has these lovely eyelets, and I mean, I'll have a billion ends to weave in. If you can't, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have to get a little bit crafty on how to manage all the ends. But it has been such a joy to knit. I feel like it's knitting up really fast as well. I am using 4mm US 6 size needles to knit this up right now, and I have joined in the round, so now it's just kind of going around and around and around to make the body. Yeah, I just love it. It's so, the yarn that I selected for this one is the Filcolana alva held together with Filcolana tilia. Alva is a 100% alpaca fingering weight with a tilia, which is 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. And they are so, so lovely. I think Filcolana has become one of my favorite yarn sources out of all of the yarn brands that I kind of have access to here in the UK, like easily, that kind of ship within a week. I think Filcolana has given me the softest wool. That might be a bold statement, but I just have really enjoyed it. I mean, I wish I could let you feel through the screen. It's just so fuzzy and it's just soft, but it's light, it's airy. It feels like I can wear this even though it's has these eyelets in it. I feel like I could put this on a warmer day and not feel like it's too warm with the alpaca, but then also with the eyelets it's not too cold, if that makes sense. I just feel like it's just so light and airy, but it has structure and to it, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how it feels on. I feel like this is gonna knit up pretty quickly. I've just been enjoying it, to be honest. I think the eyelets are the only thing keeping this from absolutely flying off my needles, because when you knit the two stitches together, it takes a little bit of time. Like, it's just not mindless stockinette, basically. So yeah, I have really enjoyed working on this. I'm excited to just put a collar on it. I feel like once you put the collar on your works in progress, it kind of looks more finished even though it's not. So I'm wondering if I should pause where I am and put the collar on and maybe even knit the sleeves first, because I learned from my last sweater that I hate knitting sleeves. So that might be good to just get out of the way now, so that way when I'm done with the body I can feel really excited about that. I would also love advice, because I saw in the pattern that it said you can weave in your ends as you go for the stripes, like all of these ends, because the stripes are knit flat before you join in the round. So obviously you get these ends, and I was kind of cheating. So instead of purling, I would just slide everything back to the start. And since it was stripes, I could just use the stripes. So I didn't purl very much, which made it go a lot faster. But yeah, I didn't really know how one would go about weaving them in as they go. If there was like a way to hold the yarn kind of like in color work where you can carry it or something without it showing on the other side. If anyone has any resources for that or any recommendations, I haven't done the research myself. It just is something that popped into my mind as we're discussing this now, because it's something I was interested in looking up, just to save that little extra bit of time. Right, on to the next. So my next project is one that I was kind of reluctant to share because I've been knitting it for a friend of mine for her birthday, and I just misread the pattern and ordered like half of the yarn that I needed. So it's on a bit of a pause right now until I order more of the yarn, which would take me 2 seconds. I just haven't done it yet with exam season and just my brain being all over the place. But this is the Oslo Hat by Petite Knit. I am using Filcolana Arwetta for this. It's 80% superwash merino wool with 20% nylon, and I'm doing this in the color Peacock, or I think there's a number for this as well. Let's see. 372. So I've been working on this for almost a month. The 17th will be a month, or the 14th rather will be a month. So I I mean, I feel like it knit up, I mean, it's knitting up super fast. I think if I had the yarn, I could finish this like in a day. It really isn't like a difficult pattern. I think it's super beginner friendly. I've actually been teaching, sorry, I'm untangling. I've been teaching a friend of mine how to knit, which has been super fun and rewarding. I don't have a lot of close friends who knit, so it's super fun to teach her. We spend a lot of time together studying and, well, hanging out because we're good friends, and it's just really nice that she was inspired by what I was doing and that she has that interest to learn, and she's a really fast learner, so it's been really fun because we're already going to, I think we might even do it tonight. We might cast on our new project, and I will tell you about that in a few minutes. So I'm very excited about that. But I have another work in progress, and these are the Quilty cabin socks. So if you are on my Instagram, you've seen me post these with the daffodils the other day. But these are my Quilty cabin socks that I'm knitting with the mini cal with Liz and Paige, and then there are other YouTube creators that are on there as well as like lovely people from the knitting community. So I joined that last week. I'll tag all of the information down below if you're interested in joining as well, because I'm sure they would love that as well. And I definitely encourage you to watch their videos too, because they are so lovely. Yeah, it's been really fun. This is my first pair of socks that I have ever made. I'm kind of testing out the 9-inch circular needles. I get all sorts of mixed reviews on people's opinions on the 9-inch circulars. You either love them or you absolutely hate them. I have not made up my mind yet. I think the heel construction of this particular sock has made me question if I love it or not, because when I'm just knitting in the round, I've really enjoyed it, but then for the heel we had to switch from the 9-inch circulars to magic loop, which I was like, well, if I was already knitting magic loop, I wouldn't have had to change my strategy here. So and then I switched back from the magic loop to my 9-inch circular, so it seemed like a little bit of an extra step that maybe wasn't necessary in the grand scheme of things. But when you're knitting in the round, it's just nice because I know with magic loop you have to kind of always pull your yarn through, or your needle through, so it kind of takes out that need to kind of fiddle with your stitches a lot and kind of align them on the needle again to knit and then align them and then knit. So it just is knitting in the round. So I don't hate that. I definitely like, here I am like about to start knitting on them again. It's so addicting. That's one thing that I didn't know because I hadn't experienced it myself yet, but I'd heard that knitting on socks was kind of an addiction for some. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be a sock knitter. Like, I don't know, I didn't really feel the need to like I wear boots and go hiking with the dog every day. Not really hiking, but walking through the park every day with the dog. So I just wear athletic socks, but how nice would it be to have cozy knit socks to wear around the house? I mean, I wear my slippers every single day, so wearing nice knitted socks with those would be really fun. So I just never really considered it as a thing that I would want, but now since knitting is less of a stressful learning curve all the time, and it's more of like a relaxing, I just want to do something with my hands kind of feeling, it's just nice to have something to knit on, especially something so adorable and cute. So I'll insert all the pattern details, like the pattern designer and the details in the description box as well. I am trying to be better about having a bit of preparation, but today the weather was really nice and I'm running out of daylight. And I gotta just record something because it's been too long. So I'm gonna put everything in the description box as well, if my memory seems to fail me. But I'm knitting these socks in West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. This is a 75% wool, 25% nylon blend. It's nice. I like it so far. I enjoy working with it. It's definitely holds together nicely. It doesn't seem to split too much when I'm working on the sock, so it's kind of nice. I don't have to really be super lasered in on making sure I don't split the yarn. But yeah, and then I'm holding it with, I forget, one second. And then I'm holding it with what I think is called Chopel Zoberball Crazy. Very cool name. But I've seen some people in the knitting community knitting with this as well. I went into my local yarn shop and bought this actually, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I almost can't justify buying it because I could definitely spin this. Like, this is something I would spin. And I mean, it was a little bit pricey. And I was like, do I just do it so I actually knit a pair of socks and I'm not waiting to spin yarn and everything else, because I've just been so crazy with my schedule. And I just said, this is an inspiration moment. I'm going to buy this yarn, which is stunning, and use it as inspiration for future knitting, spinning projects, because now I kind of know exactly the thickness that they used and the angle of their twist. So I thought that was really cool. So this is the, again, Chopel, I think is how it's pronounced. And I think this is the colorway Camouflage. I'll insert more information in the description box below. So those are 2, 3, yeah. That's what I've been knitting on so far. I have kind of dabbled with casting on Camisole No. 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, but I'm not going to show it because I kind of I had found some cotton, some 100% cotton by Paintbox Yarns in my closet that I had used for a baby blanket 2 years ago. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. That's wild. But yeah, so I had found that in my closet and it's just been sitting there and completely forgotten about. So I have enough for that camisole, and yeah, but I have other intentions for that pattern, I think, and other intentions for my knitting queue. I think I'm going to put that on hold. I think it was really good to practice because for some reason I just don't know how to count anymore, and I don't know how to read, apparently. I don't know if it's just because I've been studying all hours of every day that now my brain just doesn't work. It's so easy. I cast on, they have you start with the straps, and I casted it on and I knitted it all the way through where you're joining it with the other, I knitted the other strap where you join it, and I held it up and it was literally like this big, like together. I wouldn't even make it around my clavicle, like my, just, I don't even know. I did gauge swatch, but I think the thing, it is 2x2 rib, and I think what happened was when I gauge swatched, I didn't make it, I don't tend to swatch the full 10x10 centimeters because I get about like 2 centimeters in and I'm like, yeah, like this is my stitch gauge, like it's fine. So stupid. I just should have kept going, because once I started to continue on the strap, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, if you're a new knitter, this is what I had learned. When you knit 2x2 rib, it does scrunch up quite a lot. And the gauge description does say that. It does say, you know, when you're trying to determine what your gauge actually is, you can read it just regular plain, you can block it, or you can give it a slight stretch, and all of which will give you different numbers, which she provides, which is great. But I just wasn't even close to anything, and I just went, oh well. Anyway, so that was kind of a big fail for me. I also am absolutely buzzing. I think this is a good place for me to transition into what I would like to knit in the spring. I think I have some knitting plans. I know I have some knitting plans, and I'm super pumped about my knitting plans. Oh my goodness. I forgot about my sweater. Hold on. You need to see. I can't believe I started to move on into knitting plans and I didn't even talk to you about my new Norma sweater. If you have been following me so far, I'm about 5 episodes in on my vlog. I was uploading every couple of days for a couple of weeks, and then I've taken a bit of a sabbatical because I haven't been spinning and I haven't been working on it because I need to spin. And yeah, and it's just been crazy study land over here, as you'll probably get sick of hearing me say, but I need to update you on my Norma sweater, because if you haven't seen the vlogs, this is the sweater that I have been doing a spin to knit vlog, and this is my new Norma. So she is made with a couple of different fibers. So we have a natural brown blue face luster that I've been spinning up, and a natural white blue face luster that I've spun as well. And then there's a pink dyed 23, oh, I always forget the microns. I'm pretty sure it's a 23 micron merino, but I'll put all the information in the description as always. I had this all memorized by heart because it was just like my entire personality for like a month, because I was spinning and then I was knitting, and it was just like all consuming. It's been knitting, it has knit up so fast. I mean, she is almost at the point, like we've got like I think 4 more pattern repeats for the body, and then we're on sleeves. Like that is insane. I have a ton left to spin. I was hoping to spin more of the brown. I just am not excited about spinning more brown fiber because it is a bit of a faff with the dark fibers. I go into this in depth in my vlogs, so if you'd like to check them out, I'll link them somewhere above my head in the YouTube links. So yeah, I mean, she's soft, she's lovely, she's squishy, she has a lot of structure, and I just think as far as hand spun yarn goes, she's even, which is more than I expected, because I really was just going into this hoping to just create something from something that I spun. And yeah, this project has brought me so much joy. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention it. That's pretty bad. But yeah, if you'd like to check out the vlogs, definitely have a peek if you're interested. I do show myself doing some spinning. I chat about my week. It's definitely really laid back, kind of more of conversational, throw it on in the background while you do some chores type of deal. But yeah, you guys have given me so much support, and I really appreciate that, because I am brand new to sharing my life on the internet. I am not a huge social media person, and this has given me tremendous confidence and just inspiration. And I could go on and on, but I just really appreciate you all and all of your support, because it is very much so a dream of mine to have some perhaps financial support with my knitting journey, just because I am a full-time student and a baby vet with crippling American debt, and and anything, I mean, as much as it is just for my own enjoyment and document my journey and kind of being a part of the knitting community, hey, wherever this takes me, it will take me, and that would be pretty cool. Anyway. Okay, so for real, now we can move on to some knitting plans that I have for spring 2025, which is definitely in full swing here in Scotland. It is crazy that it's sunny, and I do apologize if the lighting is getting to be a bit poor. The sun is starting to move to the other side of my house, even though I moved here to catch it, so it's just taking me a long time to record. Right. So I am looking over here because I have my notes on my iPad, but I am so excited about this one pattern in particular. I can't even contain it. So I was watching a video by Study Knits. I'll link her YouTube below as well. She is I think she's also a 4th year student. I think she's a medical student. So she's the human version to my vet med version. And she was talking about spring inspiration plans and things, and she shared the Coastline mini dress, and oh my god, I had never gasped at a pattern before in my life, and I gasped. I actually found the link to her, like, that she had put in her description box, to the Ravelry page, found the Ravelry page, stalked the designer on Instagram to figure out if this pattern had existed yet, if it had been released, like what was happening, when it was going to be released, because it wasn't available for purchase yet on Ravelry. I yeah, so apologies to Olga Knitwear Design for me harassing her, but hopefully it was good harassment. I hope she enjoyed my commentary. Because I'm literally obsessed with it. I'll insert a picture. It is the most lovely mini dress. My partner and I celebrate our anniversary in June, and we always go to the Royal Highland Show in Edinburgh. And I just thought, oh my gosh, how cute would it be if I was able to knit my own dress to wear to the show? Oh my god, it would be so cool. And I would wear it's 100% handmade. It's knitted. It'll have I don't know. I think I'm making it with cotton and maybe some superwash merino, I think is what I decided. I think it's Filcolana Mercy, and I'll insert more information there as well. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I think it's Filcolana Mercy, and I just ordered the yarn today. I have never purchased a pattern in my, like, as fast in my whole life as a knitter, which is only for a year. So who knows what pattern will do that next. But I was genuinely like checking every single day to see when it was released. It was April 1st, and I think it dropped the night of April 1st for me in my time, or maybe it was the second. I don't know, but I bought it immediately. As soon as I saw that it was dropped, I bought it. And then I bought the yarn immediately. So I was trying to find something that, because in her pattern, she's wearing hers as a cotton and linen blend. And as much as I think that fabric would be really light and airy and beautiful, I wasn't the biggest fan of the stitch definition. I think I am definitely a beginner. I don't think that my skill set, I think I knit pretty even. I think I do an okay job, but I think if I was knitting with cotton and linen that's pretty unforgiving in the tension range, I would be really struggling with maybe having some areas that weren't completely not see-through, or maybe clearly showing some changes in tension, and I just wasn't going for that look. I definitely think I do a little bit better when I have at least some wool in my project, so that way it can fill in the gaps a little bit. And I do just like that look a little bit more, especially in knitted dresses. I definitely didn't want something thick and chunky that, was like a winter sweater dress. Like, I didn't want anything like that. So I think Mercy should be good based off of the content. I'm hoping, because I did buy enough for the whole thing, but there's a spring sale right now on knit.co.uk, so you should definitely check it out. I'm not getting sponsored in any way, but I just noticed it today, so hey, what the heck, I'll share it with the community. So I got that, I ordered that yarn, so I'm expecting to have that in a couple of days, and I will cast that on immediately because it has to be done by, I think, June 21st. I think is the date. I know it was that last year, but whatever that Saturday is that week, this year will be when the show is. So I just want to have it done by then. I think I can do it. But because I'm knitting that dress, I wanted to make a shawl as well. So I'm going to try to knit the pressed flower shawl. And this might be crazy because I think if I am spread too thin, I'm not going to get anything done, and then I'll be really sad. So I think my primary focus will be the Coastline knit mini dress, then the pressed flowers shawl, and I think I'm going to actually spin today some fiber for that, because I think I'll order the main color in DK for that, and then I think I might just spin what I have. I have a lot of like pinks and like off-whites and things that I think I could just, and maybe even some yellow. Gasp. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go crazy tonight and just get like paint with some yarn or some fiber and just make some yarn. I think that would make me happy. I think that would make me happy. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that tonight. And then additionally, in addition to all of these other things that we have going on, my friend who I'm teaching to knit really liked the Florence, really liked the Robinson wrap cardigan by Florence Miller. And yeah, so we ordered the yarn. The yarn arrived 2 days ago now. I am knitting mine in the same yarn combination as my lace loop sweater. So it's Filcolana Filcolana Tilia and Filcolana Alva, and I'm doing it in kind of a natural white. I can show you actually. So I'm just gonna hold these two lovely natural whites together because I think I just need a basic, and I think I would wear this wrap literally like every day. And I wear a lot of kind of comfortable trousers at the moment. I've been going back and forth on if I wanted to share like anything personal about my like life or health, because I think there's a lot of knitting YouTubers out there that share a lot about mental health, which is so important, and like daily life and things like that. And I don't tend to overshare to strangers. I definitely overshare to friends, but I definitely don't overshare to kind of like the void about like what's going on in my life. And I don't tend to focus on negatives. I don't really like to do that, but I just in the past couple of years have been struggling with a chronic illness, and it does kind of impact me, my energy, and kind of what I have space for, and also just my general attitude towards everything lately, because it's just been quite severe in the past few months. I don't know if you had watched my previous videos or any of my previous vlogs, but I did mention I was supposed to get surgery a couple of weeks ago, and that got canceled due to some weird pre-op findings. I am now on a wait list again through the NHS, which NHS has a lot of really amazing pros, and I know that there are a lot of really amazing people um, who are behind the scenes of that whole institution. But it is also kind of on the other side a little bit frustrating, being used to American healthcare systems where, you know, my parents had jobs, so they had healthcare, so I was on healthcare under their name for years, and then now that I'm far too old to be under parents' insurance, and I'm living in a different country, I was used to things having a little bit more urgency, or at least kind of, I don't know, I think if I had been dealing with what I'm dealing with now in the US, I would have had some kind of ends to a means, at least like something in the books planned to help me to cope with what I'm dealing with, or a procedure in place. And I've been waiting for 2.5 years actually for this surgery, and to have it canceled really took a huge toll on my mental, especially during exam season, because I had blocked off time to heal and I had reconstructed my whole study plan. But I was really excited to get back to being my active, busy self. To stop being so cryptic, I ever since I was 16, I have been suspected to have endometriosis. I had never undergone formal diagnostic procedures for that because my symptoms were managed uh, with an IUD and other things. But now, now after lots of time, it's been quite bad. I've had multiple hospitalizations. I've seen multiple doctors. I've had lots and lots of symptoms and flares. And it's kind of to the point where it's really impacted my ability to be super active. I mean, I went from training for marathons to now not being able to really handle like long walks. And I like to be active. It's how I used to manage my mental health in a big way. So it's been really tough. So that's my overshare for the internet. Please be kind. That's all I ask, is just please be kind, because I really don't have space for any negativity, and I don't think I would mentally be able to handle that, to be honest. I'm really trying to be brave and open up, because I know that there's so many women out there that are going through similar things that I am, whose pain is the same or even worse. And yeah, I mean, this isn't, my goal wasn't to come on the internet and talk about the negatives, or, you know, maybe like create an endo community, but it is definitely something that I really struggle with, and I didn't this page is kind of about me, and I thought I would share. So that was a really unexpected overshare. Um So yeah. um so I went a little bit MIA for a little bit here on YouTube just because I was trying to deal with all of the things, and I've been dealing with a lot of pain lately, and I had to take medication to deal with that pain, and I just didn't feel like it was right to come on the internet and talk to the void in a mind space that maybe wasn't 100%. And obviously, being able to manage that pain and how I manage that pain will change when I'm working full time during 5th year, because I can't take the medication that I take when I'm working in the hospital all day and animals' lives are in my hands. And it just wouldn't be the responsible thing to do. So, not having the surgery and having that positive outlook that things will be getting better soon has been a real downer. But anyway, I think it's time that we move on to other things. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me if you have made it this far. I have a couple of acquisitions that I would love to share. Kind of first of all is I upgraded my knitting needle collection. I have been a little bit crazy with the purchases that I've made lately. I think it's kind of a coping mechanism for stress. It's like retail therapy, but like knitting retail therapy, which is like a whole different level of things. So I got this adorable little set of Taigu needles. It's an interchangeable set of 5-inch needles. I forgot I put other needles in there, but they come in a cute little pouch like this. Wah! And they have all sorts of different size cables as well. I also, if you didn't notice me dropping things everywhere, I also have a couple of, this one is one that I've had for a while. I just wanted to try out the Taigu needles, see what the hype was about. I did really enjoy it. I think knitting with the stainless steel, I don't know how to describe it, but it almost feels soft. And it's really strange, but I really enjoy it. And I've tried wooden needles, and wooden needles definitely have their place, but I'm definitely a much faster knitter on my metal needles, and I've really enjoyed doing that. So metal needles it is for me, and I just got a couple of different sizes to start my sock knitting journey. So I got some smaller needles, smaller circumference, some smaller millimeter needles, and I've been giving that a go. And since I started the Quilty cabin sock, I was like, that's it, like I'm sold, I'm gonna be a sock knitter now. So I have some yarn acquisitions as well. So bought a bunch I bought a bunch of Cascade yarns, and they're so soft. I can't get over how soft they are. I did not expect that. They're 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And so I got 2 kind of plain white ones because I feel like white is really nice for accenting any of the color work or for cuffs or toes or what have you. I just think that white is kind of a staple to have just on hand. If you watched my last video, I had talked about the yarn I bought in Amsterdam, which actually is sock yarn. It just doesn't have nylon with it. So I just figured I would hold that together with that and make something pretty. And then I also have this pink and this gray. The pink color is color 5648, and then this really beautiful gray color, which I don't think is the same color I thought it was on the internet, but I do love it all the same. And this is the color 5681. So because I bought these skeins that are so lovely and have lots of really beautiful sock yarn, I had to buy a Swift. So that is arriving in the mail tomorrow. It was on sale on Amazon and I just went for it. So I'm really excited to have one. I've been really kind of primitively kind of making my yarn into balls that way, but I just can't imagine doing it with a skein of such thin yarn with so much meterage. I just can't do that to myself, I don't think. So I'm doing it. I pulled the trigger and I just bought it. So that's coming in the mail, I think tomorrow. I'm gonna cake up those sock yarns once I figure out what I want to do with the pattern. But that brings me to my next point, is I bought the Sock Project by Summerly Knits, or Summerly. And I'm so excited. I have heard Me Knits talk about this book so often, and this designer so often, that I was sold. I just bought it I actually bought this book off of Amazon, and I really waffled on it because I wanted to support her, but because I live in the UK, I wasn't sure how best to go about it, but I really wanted it right away, so I just bought it, and I think it's linked to her on Amazon, so I'm hoping that she gets the profits from that. So yeah, I was thinking how fun would it be to just make some cool socks and figure out what my favorite sock construction method is, because I know there's so many. Yeah, I just know there's so many, and everybody has a favorite and a preference, and I don't have any experience. So I just worked my first square heel, I think, using the Quilty cabin sock description, and it was fine. I don't really have I just don't know the alternatives. I've seen other people do things called like afterthought heels and what have you. I don't know what that means, but I'd like to try it. So I bought this book, and I've got some YouTube videos on deck for helping me through things like that. But I just thought it's about time that I expand my horizon and learn some new skills. I also bought some yarn for the Camisole No. 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I got this lovely Knitting for Olive, 70% organic cotton, 30% extra fine merino wool. Oh yeah, it's called cotton merino. Blend, and it's elephant blue is the colorway, and I think it's really pretty, and I just really love it. I think it'll be a really nice staple. Yeah, I don't have anything in this color in my wardrobe. I'm really excited to start making basics in my wardrobe. I am very much, well, yeah, I haven't recorded a lot of videos, so you don't don't know my style, but I tend to be more of an athleisure kind of person. I don't like to wear tight pants because of my endometriosis, so I tend to wear more leggings or sweatpants, which kind of has its pros and cons. I would love to get a sewing machine. I've borrowed a friend of mine's sewing machine on one occasion and absolutely went crazy over the summer trying to learn how to sew, and I sewed most of a quilt and most of a dress, and I would love to start making my own trousers because I've seen Liz and Paige and Jessica and Rachel from those twins who knit, and yeah, they always make really stunning basics, like for trousers or for tops or skirts. Their skirts are stunning as well. I would really love to explore that aspect of making. I just am in need of a sewing machine. I think I'm able to do that. I think when I was learning to sew, I felt like after you get the basics down, it can be really intuitive, which, I mean, it always seemed so intimidating, and then I did it and I was like, oh, this is what it takes. This is all it takes to make your own clothes. This is why doesn't everybody do this? And yeah, I don't have a sewing machine, so I can't even join that population. But I just think being more sustainable and intentional with my wardrobe is a big goal of mine. I would also like to feel more confident in how I look with this kind of new development, where I can't really wear jeans or other things because it just makes me super uncomfortable and causes a lot of pain and discomfort. So yeah, that's on my list of things that I would love to explore. But yeah, I think that is it for acquisitions. It's all just been a bunch of like bits and bobs that I've accumulated over the past month or so of just like knitting stuff and yarn and patterns. I have downloaded so many patterns. I am just ready and raring to go. I think I'll make another video with more of my spring inspiration, spring knitting goals. I mean, really realistically, I think the dress and the shawl and the wrap are like really, really ambitious for somebody who can only finish one sweater in 2 months. But on the flip side, I'm starting 5th year and my schedule will be less, I'll have more control over my schedule in the sense of I'll have a routine where before it's just been you go to class and then you just feel guilty about not studying, or you study and then you want to knit but you just feel guilty about not studying. So making time to knit will feel a lot easier, I hope, because I'll actually have downtime when I have downtime instead of having that looming stress. But yeah, if you are knitting any of those things as well, definitely let me know. I would love to see or hear what you're knitting on. I'm super nosy, to be honest. I have definitely been adding a lot of people on my Ravelry, so if you'd like to join me on Ravelry, I'd love to give you a follow back. And I just love seeing what everybody's knitting on. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested. I would also love to hear if you are doing well. I would love to hear if you are dealing with things similar to me. To be honest, it makes me feel a lot less alone when I hear that other people are kind of going through similar things, even though I don't want anyone to be going through what I'm going through. But if you know anybody that has endo, just give them a hug. It sucks. So, but yeah, definitely, this has definitely turned into a bit more of a rambly video, but it's been a while and I was keen to say hi and not disappear into the void, the other void. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me if you've made it this far. If you would like to support me as a vet student and beginner knitter, a like or a subscribe would be just amazing. It would mean so much to me. I really appreciate everybody who comes back and watch my videos. I appreciate all the feedback. I love all the advice. So definitely just keep that coming. I take everything on board and I try to yeah, I love messaging with you guys. A couple people have messaged me privately just to chat about spinning or knitting, and it just makes me feel like I'm part of a community. And yeah, it really means a lot, and it feels really scary just putting myself out into the world without, yeah, just, yeah. It's been an experience and a journey, and I've really enjoyed it so far. So thank you so much. Okay, I guess it's time for me to go. Have a great night, great week, and a great weekend. And I will see you next time. Bye.